Hola, ¿qué tal todos? ¿Cómo están? Muchísimas gracias por unirse a este pequeño live stream que estamos haciendo junto con el Ganso o para el Ganso. Muy emocionada porque vamos a estar platicando LP y yo sobre distintas cosas. Realmente platicando en la chorcha, ¿verdad? Como dos viejas amigas. Y y estoy contenta, va a estar bueno. Hay un montón de preguntas que ya fueron previamente seleccionadas por la gente del Ganso. Y entonces a ver qué tal. Hay muy buenas preguntas, yo creo que va a ser para una plática súper interesante. Preguntas que bueno, yo le voy a hacer a LP y yo también voy a responder desde mi cancha. Entonces, nada, pues aquí platicando con ustedes, a ver qué onda, y esperaremos a que LP se conecte. Mientras tanto, les puedo estar platicando un poquito sobre la dinámica, o bueno, sobre de lo que se trata esto con el Ganso, que es Ganso Ayuda. Hay una página de internet que les estaremos compartiendo que se llama gansoayuda.org. De ahí hay un montón de pósters y de diseños exclusivos, playeras, etcétera, etcétera, para ayudar a toda la comunidad que rodea pues a todas las personas impactadas por el COVID-19 en la playa. Que bueno, es el lugar en donde está situado el Ganso. Entonces, bueno, es una buena causa esta pequeña plática que vamos a estar haciendo. Entonces, pues nada, platicando un poquito. ¡Ay, ya entró el P! ¡Oh, qué emoción! Ok, nada más la encuentro. Porque aquí entre tanto comentario necesito buscarla. Chiquichen, chiquichen. Perdonen, ahorita no tardo. A ver si alguien encuentra un mensajito de LP para poderla meter. Mira, les voy a ir poniendo, por cierto, la dirección, bueno, el link que es gansoayuda.org, en lo que logro meter a LP. Gansoayuda.org. Ah, mira, ya la vi. Hello!
What's up, babe?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I feel like I haven't used my English in like, I don't know, many months. Right now I was like, oh shit, I think I forgot how to speak English.
It'd be so weird to like just snap into it, you know?
I know. It's like, oh wow.
It's like someone that lives in your house and that like you never see, but then you're like, oh shit. Hey, what's up?
I know.
I forgot. You're like
yeah, it's like a part of my brain that's off, and now it's suddenly like starting to turn on. So how you been doing?
The language like me. Yeah.
I know.
Cerveza? Sí.
Cerveza. That's very nice. That's very beachy El Ganzo kind of vibe.
That's right, man. I'll keep the El Ganzo going all Ganzo day.
I know. That's nice.
Yeah, that's my vibe.
So where are you?
I'm in LA.
Nice.
That's where all I've been. It's so funny.
I know.
I haven't been anywhere this year. So interesting. So weird.
I know, right? So different.
It's so different. Were you going to tour a lot this year?
Not really. I mean, we toured a lot in Mexico before this whole thing started, but I mean, everything stopped in March, which is more or less the time where things start to pick up here, at least. So it was just crazy. We just literally had everything canceled. We had a trip to Spain, a couple of U.S. shows, so we really didn't get to do much.
Yeah.
But well,
soon.
yeah, I'm very hopeful. So they shared with El Ganzo peeps, the people from El Ganzo, shared with us really cool like questions that they received from a bunch of people, bunch of fans that wanted to ask us. And there's some really funny ones and interesting ones, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun trying to answer these. So if you want me, I can start by reading some of them.
Okay,
They're pretty cool. So let's see. Okay, so let's start with one of these, which is what did you think the first time you heard one song from the other?
Oh gosh. You go first.
Well, I can't really remember what song, but I do remember hearing a lot from you, probably around 8 years ago, which was, I think, was around the time that I was releasing my second album, and I was touring a lot in the States, and I just remember your name everywhere. I remember your voice very, very clearly. Like, remember, you know, being on like a radio station and just suddenly listening to you and being like, oh wow, like what is this? Like who is this person? This is amazing. And yeah, that was really like one of the first times that I was like totally aware of you and your voice and your career. And you know, and I think I remember for some reason being in contact with a lot of people that knew you or knew of you, or maybe we were in the same label at some point. I don't know. But it was pretty amazing.
People, and then friends of mine from Mexico that told me about you, and then like asked me if I knew who you were. And then I feel like 3 different interviews before we ever like just said, you know, do you like Amena? And I was like, I didn't know. And it just kind of kept happening. They kept asking me about you, and then I looked your stuff up, and I was like, oh, I love this girl. You know, and I, but I remember it was friends and it was record people that told me about it, you know, so it was kind of cool. I got both.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely interesting to be hearing from you, and then not really knowing that in many years afterwards we would be actually working together, talking, doing live streams together.
Live, oh god, these are like, I don't know, you know, I don't know if I'll miss them or not, you know. Like, remember the live stream year? That was really cool.
I know. I mean, I think it's cool that, I mean, at least, you know, it's, to me, I don't know if it's happened to you, but to me, I truly feel like it's, I don't know, going on a date with someone, like actually, you know, like actually seeing that person and being like there's like a nice warm feeling in my heart, even though it's only like through the internet, and they're not really present there with you. It's still like just seeing someone other than the people that you're quarantining with. It's like yay, more people.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like a person drowning. Yeah, I feel like
hey.
when I go out, you know, even though like we've got masks on and everything, you know, it's like I think I like kind of feel like I want to like hug someone that's standing like 10 feet away from me in line.
I know.
at the wine store, which is like the place that I go to the most. Like when at the wine store.
Like, I'll just have to hug this bottle endlessly, imagining that it's an actual person.
All right, what's another question?
Okay, another question. If you weren't a singer, what would you do instead?
Me or you?
You.
Me.
I didn't mean both.
Oh, people are
for both.
Okay, I'll go first. I would probably be a doctor.
Really?
Yeah, My whole family is everyone I know is a doctor or a lawyer, but I don't want to be a lawyer. I wouldn't want to be a lawyer. I think I might have gone into like therapy, like a psychologist kind of doctor.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I have a lot of therapists around me because my mother-in-law is a therapist. My brother-in-law is a therapist.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a really cool profession.
Yeah, and when I've gone to therapy, I'm always like, interesting. Or maybe I'm just interested. Okay. Am I this interesting? Wow, maybe I should be a therapist. Maybe I should.
Because I love therapists. I'm always like, I mean, yeah, you kind of like, I don't know why, but you kind of like feel the first time that you go into a therapy session and then you come out feeling so happy that you just want to hug them and you're like,
see,
I love you. I know it's your job, but I love you.
I feel so safe.
I know.
I don't know if it's like I get like this like I feel like I always just like kind of charm my therapist into being like my friend. so then I feel like they just like me, so they don't really, you know, like
they're not very objective.
Yeah, I was like, I remember like my ex-girlfriend like kind of like sort of convinced me that there was like so much shit wrong with me that, you know, that I went into this first like couples therapy, which then she became my therapist after. And I just remember I was like, I'm really like she said that she knew that this woman was like, you know, not like worse than me, you know, because like he went in there telling the therapist, I got there 10 minutes late, she told her all these like, you know, things about me, you know, and then I got in there and I just was like, yeah, I mean, I'm fucked up, I can't help it, it's all right. You know, and she's like, you're like just like meat and potatoes normal kind of person, really. I don't want to like chat artistic thing and everything, but you know, and I was like, oh.
I feel that that's like the number one mistake that people make when they go to couples therapy. You're always like, I want to take my significant other to couples therapy so that the therapist can tell them what's completely wrong about them. And then you go to therapy and you're like, oh shit, I think I'm the one that has all this stuff going on.
Yeah, like my favorite is just like watching their face crumble as they realize they're wrong.
Exactly.
See?
That's totally me. It's totally me. Okay, awesome. So you would be a therapist. I don't know what the fuck I would do, actually, to be honest. It's like, I don't think I'm actually talented in anything else. Like, I just sing well. I'd probably be like, I don't know, a nanny. I don't know. My daughter's nanny.
Wrong with that.
Stay-at-home mom.
I could see you being, and not in an insulting way, but like, I feel like if you were like a kindergarten teacher, you'd be the most beloved kindergarten teacher of all time. You'd just be like, kids would be like,
I like it because I feel it's something that I've discovered in my later years. Like, if you would have told me like 3 years ago, before I was even pregnant or had a kid or anything, if I would have been a good teacher or a good person with kids, like, nobody would have believed you. Everybody would have been like, Ximena, no fucking way. She's like the most uninterested person in a kid. Like, you know, I would just walk into a room where there would be kids and I would be like, awesome, there's a kid. You know what I mean? Like, just now, yeah, definitely something happens. Like, you become a mom and it's like, boom, now I like run to them. Like, it's like I see them on the street and I'm like, that crazy lady that just wants to hold them or like talk to them. Yeah, it's kind of creepy and weird.
Well, you know, also like people say that like you never know what kind of parent you're gonna be until you have them. Like this friend of mine was saying that like before her and her husband had kids, they always thought that he would be the strict one and she would be like the easygoing one, and then when they had kids, like, complete opposite. He's like the mush that like kind of is always like, okay, go ahead, and she's the like disciplinarian, which was like, because she's not like, it was just very weird. She said it's just very interesting who you become, like
yeah, it's crazy. You have no idea. I mean, it's totally mind blowing, and your kids just disarm you 100%.
Yeah, I bet. You only have one, right?
I have one, and I'm expecting a second one.
That's what I thought I saw that,
Yeah.
and I was like, is this an old pic? Congratulations!
I know, crazy, right?
They look so damn radiant.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what they are? They is what
Not yet.
okay. Should we like do a little pendulum thing?
Exactly. Let's see what it's like. Here in Mexico we have these candies that are like a chocolate, and they always cover a surprise.
Yeah.
So and they're called Kinder Sorpresa.
Yeah.
So that's what it is for our baby. It's a surprise baby.
Nice. Oh, so you're gonna stay not knowing?
Not knowing.
Cool. I mean, does it matter? It don't.
Not really. I mean,
what's gonna happen? Just that.
Exactly.
What's gonna happen? Really?
That's awesome.
Wow. Okay, give me another question.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is a question for me, and there's one for you. So, would you like to change your hairstyle to an LP hairstyle? And I'm like, 100%. I totally would. The problem is that my hair would not be like your hair, probably. You have curly hair, right?
I do, but it could like go anyway. Like I just washed it like 5 minutes ago, so it's a little bit sad right now. So, hence once again the hat, but yeah, I think my hair could go straight though. If I like blow dry, I could blow dry it really straight, which would be really weird. But it just naturally, so I just let it do what it wants. But yeah, no, I think your hair looks like it has like a lot of wave to it.
It has a little bit of wave. I have a bunch of hair though, so I feel that if I cut it to that point, it would probably be just like this crazy, weird afro. I mean, you know what? I should just try it. Like, it's hair. You know what I mean? It grows back. Whatever.
Like a fucking pregnancy, whatever meltdown, and just like cut off.
I know. Well, actually, with my previous pregnancy, I did cut my hair. Like, I don't know. I totally went through that like oh my god, my life is changing moment, and I cut my hair like this short. It was like super short, and I liked it. It was fun. It was fun for a while.
Yeah, that's cool. Is this pregnancy easier for you?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think that with your first one, you're like so overly aware of what's going on in your body, and you're like scared shitless all the time. You're like, oh my god, I feel something. What is this? Oh my god, you know? So it's just, and it's so crazy. And then when you understand that your body sort of like knows what it's doing, and no matter what you do, either you do it right or kind of wrong, like it's still gonna go ahead and do what it needs to do. So if you just stay out of the way and let it do its thing, it's gonna be fine. So with this pregnancy, also I have a toddler now, so my daughter is like occupying a bunch of my attention. I don't even like last pregnancy, you're like, okay, you're counting the weeks, you're counting the days, you're counting the hours, and this time
I'm never gonna be alone again, and now you're already not ever being alone.
Yeah, now it's like, oh yeah, what week are we in? Oh fuck, I don't know. I'm sorry.
What do you do?
Well, what?
When are you due?
September.
Oh wow! Damn.
I know, crazy.
Exciting! I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Think of a better mom than you.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, even to me, I'm just like, I feel like I'm in kindergarten. I'm like, man.
Yay. Good to know that I can have a good plan B. Okay. Okay, here's a good one. It says, what will you never repeat in life, and what would you change if you had the opportunity to do it? And could you really change that? If you could return to the past, what advice would you give yourself?
That's a multi-pronged question.
I know.
Something you would never repeat, and if you could go back and change that, you go back and change.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, so many things. I mean, but and then again, nothing. You know what I mean? I think I wouldn't have stayed out with my friends as many nights as I did when I was a kid. When my mother was so sad and bringing the party down. But my mom is dying, and I I saw her a lot, but I just didn't go home as much as I should have. Like I was just like trying to avoid, because I lived with my dad, and she was with my stepfather, and I just was like sad, So, but I would have seen her more, really, yeah. Hey, you have a baby that's big. It's pretty bad. Anyway, yeah, I would have done that.
Yeah. I mean, I know you probably know this, but I'm sure your mom knew exactly what you were going through.
Yeah.
She's probably really aware of who you are now and what you felt at the time, because moms know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't really give a shit about yourself as a mom.
Yeah.
You just have this like insane love for the person, for your daughter and son, and just totally understand 100%. And you know how much they love you. Like, it's crazy.
Very hard for her, like, and I can't imagine. I think parents, it must be very hard for parents to watch their kids watch them kind of pass away. You know what I mean? Like, that's awful. So yeah, I think she got it. I just when I think about, because I don't have regrets about like like even like perceived like career regrets. Like, everything happened exactly how it was supposed to, and it's been to the best end. So just stuff like that. Like like they say, there's nothing. Time with people you love is one of the most important things.
Yeah, and I do think that these times are 100% putting everything, all that into perspective, with people missing each other so much and being far away, and and not being able to hang out or really pass time with the people that you want to be with. It's crazy.
I think I think a lot of kids, dogs especially, but a lot of kids will be. This is their favorite year. No school, hanging out with their parents. I wonder what is this year? Because Lauren and I were laughing earlier about, is this maybe the year of the dog? Because we're just like, the dog is like, this is great.
I know. Having the time of their life. And I think it's definitely great for toddlers as well, because toddlers are like these self-centered motherfuckers, kind of. Rather than just, you don't really give a shit about other kids yet. So they're really happy. But I think that for older kids, I mean, they miss other kids so much. Being able to play outside and play with their friends and stuff, and I think that's what's really, really hard for them. Or people that there's actually kids that miss school, you know what I mean, that are actually like, I wish I could be at school with my friends and hang out or whatever. Not my case, definitely. When I was a kid, I was like, fuck this. This sucks.
Would have been like, I don't know. I would have missed it. I think I would have been like, because we didn't like. Also like, there were no kids in my neighborhood, so it was like boring as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like school was like the only other kids.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Okay, so that was a really existential one. Let's see. Let's see, something a little lighter. Oh, what is your guilty pleasure, and what Mexican dish do you like?
Oh my gosh. My guilty pleasure is like, I don't know, like Brad Pitt movies or something. Like
Anything
Tom
with Brad Pitt.
movies. I don't know. Kind of I'm trying to think what my guilty pleasure is. Yeah, just like some like cheesy movie, you know. um, and um, and my favorite Mexican dish is God, I love Mexican food in its entirety, just about. You know what I mean? I don't eat meat, so none of the meat stuff, but like shrimp tacos and stuff like that. But real like you know, like the really deep stuff, like the good yeah. I guess I love mole. You know what I mean? Like when it's good, and I love how intricate it is. You know, one time Lauren made mole from scratch, and she's really good cook. Like she's very like talented at cooking. She's gotten even better like since we've been locked up. But she made it one time. I couldn't believe how many fucking ingredients were in there. I thought she was gonna like throw like a shoe in there or some shit. You know?
I know.
It was literally
fried.
Yeah,
a fried shoe, because everything has to be fried.
You know,
and mole, everything.
Yeah. And like I was looking at the frying pan at one point, and there was like 14 little things in there that were all gonna get mixed up, and like a fucking like loaf of bread, like a little loaf of bread
Yeah.
or something like that. It was like, what does that mean? How do you go like just add a small loaf of bread?
Well, now it's rainy season here in Mexico, and in a bunch of parts of the country, these really big ants pop up from the ground, and they're called katana.
Oh yeah, we have them too. We call them what do they call them? How do they say it in English?
I have no idea. They're huge ants, basically.
Cicadas. Oh, okay. We call them cicadas. I think they come out of the ground every 15 years, right?
I'm not sure if it's every 15 years, but they're like
they're giant, and they fly out of the ground and into the trees, and then they fucking die and they fall back down, and it's the whole thing. And like dogs like gorge on them and shit. Like dogs like.
Yeah, well, here in Mexico they use them to make mole as well. So they grab a bunch of them, they fry them, and they put them into the mole, and they're really good actually. But yeah, it's like another thing that goes into the mole that you're like,
yeah.
like, okay, yeah, fine, why not? Put them in there.
It's so funny. It's like they have I love mezcal, I love tequila, but there's this brand I think they have it in Mexico too, but it's called Vida. It's from Mexico. It's all from Mexico, but it's all these different types of mezcal from different villages, you know. And there's two of them that are not like they're not vegetarian basically, because it's basically vegetarian, but there's one that's cooked with like I think chicken, and then this one is cooked with this like really like prime cut of like ham or something like that they put in it. It's like, it's just interesting.
It's insane. What I've heard, that I'm not sure if the maestro mezcalero was, pulling my leg or something, but he told me that they literally hang like a raw chicken breast, and then it just like drips into the mezcal, which is kind of like a pretty disgusting sight if you ask me. But
yeah, no, totally, I know. It's a real thing though. Apparently, they told me about it, and I just
it's legit.
Yeah. Oh man, but mezcal is so great. It really is, but not for everyday consumption.
I know.
Woo!
And I think that was the hardest for me in my first pregnancy, like having to give up all that, like mezcal and tequila. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Like my shows, and then
quarantine and be pregnant. Go.
Exactly. No alcohol for you.
Your husband's just like.
Yeah, exactly. He's intaking for both of us, so that's great.
How's Paco doing?
Paco's great. Paco is
Paco, how's he doing?
His daughter just turned 2, I think.
She's so cute.
I know, yeah, she's so cute. And he's doing great.
Awesome.
He really is working from home.
He must be psyched because he doesn't get to see. He's like out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the office. I mean, and
Yeah.
now home office with Umi screaming at the background, which is nice. So it's cool. So, this is the typical one that everybody asks. Have you learned anything from this time in quarantine?
I've learned that I should never drink more than one whole bottle of wine. Speaking of drinking, no, I think I've. What have you learned?
Exactly. Well, I've learned how to bake banana bread.
Oh,
like 95% of the population.
Those damn going bad.
Yeah. What else? I've learned that I'm very adaptable. That I'm, that it's not very, very different from. I don't feel very, very different from what I felt, touring and being super, super, super busy. And that I think it's just a lot of it is here.
Yeah.
In your head.
That's really well said because that's exactly how I felt. Like I feel like the one thing I think I was like not proud of, but like happy for the fact that like I just like dealt with it. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't feel sad really about it. I mean, it is sad and maddening, and especially like now I just feel like it's upsetting that our leadership is so bad and that it's not caring about what's happening to people, and it doesn't have to be that hard. People just wear their masks and help keep it down, but stuff like that. I did feel like I just kind of like dealt with what was going on and didn't get like I haven't really thought a lot about myself really. I've just been like, oh man, the world is so fucked up, and it'll get back to it when it gets back to whatever I'm doing. But I felt like it was good for me to just like kind of slow down and not, because I don't know about you, but like I felt like the pace of life was so fast for so long and is, and you just felt like, it should be accompanied by the sound like
yeah.
Like, it was doing that. It was just like, like
yeah.
Something broke, It was really fucked up.
And I guess in the end, it just connects you with what's really important. And it happens. I was in the studio recently, and I hadn't been in the studio for a while, and it was really cool for me because I was like, okay, so this stopping has made me connect a lot to what's actually important, like with what the things that are happening around in the world that are actually important, and I feel that it's very much compared to how you feel when you walk into the studio and you're sort of just connecting to music and to having something important and something beautiful to say through music and communicating with other musicians and and it's sort of, to me, it felt very similar, like the conclusions that you take from being in studio quarantine and then from this moment of quarantining and sort of opening your eyes to what's around you, what's important, and who needs you, and I think that's really cool.
I've never been more grateful, like I don't think, for what I do, and not for like what I have through what I do, but but what I do, like make music, and I'm so like inspired, and I just feel like I'm gonna like kind of go, not away, but just go to a little house away from my house next week for like 2 weeks to just kind of shut off and like write even more because I'm kind of done with this record that I'm putting out. My single's coming out soon. I can't wait for you to hear it. As soon as I'll send you.
Yay!
Apple probably has a version of it.
That's so
right
exciting.
now, it's coming. Yeah, but I'm like, you know, there's a lot of songs, but I feel like I have a lot more stuff rolling around, so I'm just gonna, you know, do that and see what's up. But I'm glad it's like I felt creative, so it's nice to hear that you do too.
Yeah, and we're so lucky to be able to do that. I mean, really, to just be able to go into a studio and just write and be in that mindset, having that to fall back to is amazing.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, well done.
Yay, team.
I want to get in with you and let's write something from scratch.
Yes, that would be so fun.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah. No, it's really, really cool. And especially it was awesome because we all of the songs that I was in the studio are produced by a girl. Her name is Marianne Rossi. She's an amazing Mexican producer, and I'd never done that before, and that was really amazing experience. You know, being like the two ladies in charge. That is like we were like the two main people in charge at the studio.
Yeah, I think I saw pictures. She looks cool.
You what?
I said I think I saw some pictures and she looks really cool.
She's amazing.
Like a badass.
Yeah, she's really badass. She's such a good producer. And and it was just it was really special. You know, having that energy, which, you know, it's 100% different when it, you know, whereas usually dudes.
Oh, totally. Cool. Yeah, Lauren would be like, yes, what's her number? I want to. Like, oh, she loves, like, she gets so excited when there's like, I feel like I'm just so used to, like, I welcome it and you know, a woman mastered my new single, which is like, yes, finally, you know, like,
yeah,
this woman, Emily Lazar, and I was just like, fucking finally, you know, because it's you know, because I have worked with women before. I just, like, you know, it just so happened that it's like, you know, been more of a dude thing, but I don't like kind of stay away from a dude just because he's a dude, you know.
Yeah.
Says me. There's plenty of women around anyway. Whoa, pump the brakes. Everybody calm down. Anyway, but yeah. Any more questions there?
Yeah, there's a couple of ones. Oh, this was cool. Wait. Oh, here it is. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Woo! Well, I always say this, but I think it's a good one. Time travel. You know? How cool would that be? To be like,
yeah. Time travel is cool.
Your 18-year-old son graduate from college. I mean, you're from. So, it's a boy. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I think mine is to be invisible. How cool would that be?
Oh, that would be very cool. But then, you know, you'd roll up on people being like, I don't really like them. And then you'd be like, here I am.
It's like, hey, I'm here.
But yeah, I think that would be fun for sure. But where would you go? Where would you go first?
Where would I go? The center of the city. I wish I'm dying to see how Mexico City looks like, completely, you know, empty.
Oh,
that would be really cool.
But would you also like to see Mexico City like 1,000 years ago?
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Must have been fucking crazy. I mean, I feel that Mexico City has that.
Oh, totally, it does. You're right.
It's like, I think it's always been crazy. Like, it's crazy now, and I'm sure like
Oh my God,
200 years from now was insane, and like 500 years from now was also insane. It's like,
I bet. And we should combine our superpowers, because if time travel and being able to be invisible would be key, because you know what I mean? Like this way it'd be like,
yes.
I'd like to, just be like, kind of like show up like this, like 1,000 years ago, like, like, what the hell is that? I'll kill it. Ah!
Plus also like being a woman, just like,
Well, yeah, I mean, that's not a great thing.
it's like one of the worst things to be like 500 years ago or 1,000 years
I think
ago.
I should go back and like walk into a church like 2,000 years ago, like, how's everybody fucking doing? Yeah. You like lesbians? Anyway,
Exactly. Like, okay, I'm just
you down with gay people?
burning the stake right now.
Did it get hotter in here just instantly?
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so I have one more question. This is nice. This is nice because this is kind of like a something somebody in need of inspiration or need of hope. And here it says, "Hi LP and Ximena, I wonder when you get very sad and you have reached the boiling point, what song do you listen to recharge?" Thank you in advance for your answer.
So sweet. Oh my gosh. Woo! It depends what I'm sad about, but I listened to "Going to California" by Led Zeppelin. Oh my love, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I like love shit, you know what I mean? Just like,
Yeah. I have my own like feel good Led Zeppelin song, which is "Ramble On."
oh fuck yeah, dude! Anything by Led Zeppelin. I mean, Led Zeppelin. You're just like, really? Like,
Yeah.
It's like there's some of these bands, like, because it's like, we do this, we don't do it that way or whatever. But it's like, you're like, how the fuck? Like every year, I get more like impressed with like Led Zeppelin. I get more impressed with like the Stones, like all the like these songs, because you would think that like there's songs that like there's present day songs, yes, that are gonna get played forever and ever, like, or whatever, but like. But or even like a song like like "Don't Stop Believing," you know what I mean? Like every time that comes on, people are all like, "Don't stop believing," like still in well, not bars right now. No one's in bars right now, or they're
at home.
Yeah, but that song comes on, or like or like whatever fucking song, the Stones, like name that song, and it's just like it's one. It's impressive. Or like Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, all that stuff.
Yeah, you're like, wow, what an ability to just transcend.
Yeah. So you didn't say your song though. You didn't name a song.
Okay. I think to me, let's see. I'm like opening my Spotify, like. Because I literally have like a playlist.
Like, who are you like right now?
I totally have like a feel good playlist right now that I'm like constantly updating. But I like "Lay Lady Lay" by Bob Dylan. Every time I hear that song, it's like there's something about those chords to the beginning that's like, oh man, just makes me feel really good.
Did you hear his new stuff?
No, is it good?
It's actually really good. I mean, he's just like a poet,
Yeah.
Crazy shit, and his voice sounds a bit better than it has in recent years, because it got very like kind of croaky a little bit, like whereas it's like kind of a little hard to understand. But there's no one like Bob Dylan. That's he's so like, it's wild, like it's almost wild like to live in the same time as him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
Like he's like far off, you know.
Have you ever met him? Who's like the most? Okay, this is my question. Who's like the most amazing like artist that you've met that you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I met this person?
A couple of people, but like I met Rod Stewart once, and
Wow.
yeah, that was pretty cool because his daughter is like you know, a friend of mine a bit, and she invited us to his last show in Vegas, and she sang with him a bunch and stuff, and then I went backstage, and my favorite part was I got to hang out with his clothes. He wasn't backstage yet, but I was backstage with his like ballet. He was, like 30 something years or something like that, and he has this like old like wardrobe like traveling case that's like, I mean, if you when you see it you cry because it's just like it was like there he's had it in the 70s, you know, and just all his like cool ass fucking clothes and shit, and then you know, and then I met him after, and he's just like very down to earth, and but I've been around two other people that I kind of couldn't believe. Like one time I was at a party at the Chateau Marmont here in LA, and
LA.
Yeah, Paul McCartney. It was at a Grammy party, and Paul McCartney like just.
Oh my god, I was there. I think I was there. He like, I think yeah, so.
He was
I
like
think
tooling around. He was just like such a happy guy, and he just was like, you know, like he turned around and he like, I was just like, we were just like having to look right at each other, and he's like, I was.
I think I was there because I remember. Was it like it was an after Grammy Warner party, right?
Yeah, it was the one that Bruno Mars played.
Yes, I was there. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, were you amazed? Like Bruno Mars at that fucking thing? I was like, he was doing like.
I know, he's insane. So good.
About because the music was too loud or something like that, but he played like. He played for an hour and didn't play one of his songs and just kept going from one song to the next, and he was doing these mashups. He did like fucking like Roxanne mixed with like Billie Jean or something like that. I was like, no fucking way. He's nuts, that guy. But yeah, is that party.
I was totally thinking about that party because I was thinking in that party I met Mr. Brainwash. Do you know who Mr. Brainwash is?
Yeah, I saw that documentary. What is that?
And I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, I remember he was there too. I went to this other after party up in like I think Greg Kirsten had a room or something like that, and I wrote. I'll tell you the song I wrote about that night. I forgot that it was a Grammy night, but I wrote the opening line of one of the new songs on my record is about that party.
That's so insane.
Oh yeah, and Prince. Somebody just said Prince. I met Prince. You want this is a kind of funny story, but like I was working with Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls, like and stuff, and she asked me if I wanted to go to Prince's birthday party, and it was at this place that I would like, you know, kind of hang out and play, and I knew the owner and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, and the owner had invited me too, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll go, and I go with my girlfriend at the time. And Nicole is there. She comes up, and then Prince comes up, and he's like, and there's nobody there. There's like hardly anybody there. And he didn't want anybody there. He had like Finding Nemo playing on a movie screen, and it was just like, sweet, okay. And he was wearing these red silk pajamas, and he was like talking, and he startled my ex so much that I kind of like fell off a bar stool, and then he like kind of giggled, and then you know, I'll talk. And then all of a sudden, Nicole's talking, so I was looking in her direction, and you know, I wasn't gonna be like, but like I was just like sitting there for a second, like, you know, sipping my drink, and then he leans in and goes, because he was DJing that night too.
Oh my god!
He leans in, he goes, any requests? Like,
oh my god!
And I was so startled. I was like, oh Jesus Christ! And I was like. I was like, no, everything you're playing is great, I love it, you know, and then a split second, I was like, sing one of his songs, like, you know, tell him his songs. So I go to like say something to him, and he did that, you know, those Prince moves that he does where he's on his heels and he seems to just move without stepping this way. Like,
yes.
Like he just like moves that way like 30 feet without even like moving his legs, you know, and I was like, shit. you know, and then I didn't really get to talk to him again.
Goodbye, Prince. Wow, that's so great.
Oh God, I missed my big chin. Very, very upsetting. But
That is such a good Prince story.
and then he was so cute. He was like kind of doing this thing where he like so there's like all these like couches in this place, and he just like you know how people jump over fences when they put up their hands here and they go like, you know, they jump over.
Yeah.
So he just like, and I just happened to see it. Like, I don't know if anybody was, I wasn't watching, but I was just I was watching Finding Nemo, which is right, and there's one of those couches there. And he just does that. It's an empty couch. He just does, he comes from behind the couch and he jumps over the couch and he lands like this. He just like sits there for a minute. Just
like a funny dwarf kind of character that you're
he's
describing.
He's a cartoon. Like, he's so cute. And I mean, you know, just absolutely amazing. He's like my son, which makes me love him even more.
Oh my God, I love that story. That's so funny. And I can't believe we were at the same Grammy party.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's like the only Grammy party I was ever at. So it's so funny that's actually that one.
I don't really go to them very often. I don't know. I'm not like because to be honest with you, this was a good one. It was like
it was really good.
You know, that show, Bruno was unbelievable. Like seeing him like in this intimate room, just, you know, do his thing and like just be he's like gigantic star. And I know him a little bit and said hi, and his family was always really nice. And I think that his mom was still alive, and that was nice to meet her and stuff. But yeah, I think that like it just had a warm vibe. You know?
Yeah, plus Paul McCartney was there. I mean, how insane was that?
Yeah.
I do remember it though, like everybody being really, really cool, like hanging out at this party, and then suddenly everybody just ran to where Paul McCartney was.
Yeah.
They just ran. Everybody just lost all coolness and control. Like it was like all kinds of amazing artists. It was like it was like the guys from Mastodon.
I was reading something about the guys from Mastodon. Oh my God. I was reading something about like the Beatles back in the day, and they were saying that like I think it was like an Eric Clapton bio or something that I was reading, and they were saying just when a Beatle would show up at a party, the entire thing changed. Like there was all these famous musicians, you know, there would be all these bands, all these guys from like big bands, but then like, you know, like George and like Ringo would walk in or something and everyone would be like like holy shit, it's like another level of craziness. And that was
another level of fame.
Yeah exactly.
Like those guys are pretty insane.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh man.
Did we talk enough?
Yeah, we did really well. I think we're good.
We're good. We're good. Well, let's set it up. I'm gonna call Paco and maybe we could you know, write something. I mean, you're gonna be very busy until when you gonna start working again? You think after the baby's born?
Well, probably November, but I mean that's just probable. Yeah, I mean because with my last baby, I mean I think I had her, and like 2 months afterwards I was touring. It was pretty insane. I mean, she came with me everywhere, and it was. I mean, I barely slept, but we pulled it off.
Wow.
She was like a perfect tour baby.
Yeah. Oh.
So I'm hoping that this one's gonna be the same.
I have a feeling. Does your husband help out a lot? Is he really good like that?
Yeah, he's 100% there.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, great dad.
That's cool. You're lucky. That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all skill, but that's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. Nice. Well.
But no, 100%. We'll totally hook something up.
Okay.
100%. Let's write.
All
the good thing is that, I mean, you can be as pregnant or as, you know, post-pregnant and still write. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's make it right.
Yeah.
You'll be
Yay.
I'll come down to Mexico, and we can ride.
100%.
And you can finally have like do the pump thing, whatever you got to do, and have a drink.
Exactly. Throw some milk out the window, a couple of glasses of wine. We can totally do it. Let's pull it off.
Nobody needs any drunk babies, do they?
Exactly.
They sleep much better.
Exactly.
Anyway, I love you, Amena.
Me too, LP. So nice to talk to you.
Me too. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We love you.
And thank you, Ganzo, for hooking us up.
Ganzo. Yeah, man. Dude, El Ganzo is the spot. Everybody should go there and hang there. I'm gonna go there again and hang there again. The first single, by the way, I wrote at El Ganzo. It was written by me.
That's awesome.
Mike and Nate in El Ganzo. And yeah, that's a cool fun fact. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a perfect, very creative. But anyway, thank you, El Ganzo. Anyway, I love you.
Awesome. Love you, LP. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.
Muchísimas gracias a todos por conectarse. Ojalá que hayan disfrutado mucho de este live con LP. Estuvo muy buena la chorcha, plática. Y recuerden de meterse a ganzoayuda.org y ahí pueden comprar playeras y diseños especiales para ayudar muchísimo a la comunidad rodeando el ganso. Entonces, gracias a todos por conectarse. Ojalá que se hayan divertido mucho. Obviamente voy a publicar este pequeño live para que lo vean y se pongan al corriente los que no lo pudieron ver. Mil gracias a todos. Chao, chao.